Alright everybody, here we are, Pecks Corner Shelter. This is where I stayed last night. I got here right before dark. I got in water right before I got here, and then had to make dinner and do all that stuff. There's a section hiker that was here when I got here, so he spent the night here also. Last night I was cleaning up from cooking. It was dark, and right there in those woods, right where that tree is, you see a set of yellow eyes, reflecting from the headlight, and it kept running back and forth, every time I'd shine my light on it and stuff like that. It's probably a fox or a coyote or something, because it couldn't have been a raccoon. It was too big, and its gait was too fast. It was because it'd be running back and forth from that tree over. I guess it could smell the food and stuff, and was trying to investigate. Other than that, that's the only visitors that I know of we had last night. It did rain last night, as usual. It always rains when I'm in the shelter at night. There's my food bag hanging. Gotta get that down, have breakfast, finish packing up, and then getting on the trail, doing about 13 miles today.
Today, 12.9 miles to Cosby shelter. And then tomorrow, that'll give me about 11-ish. To get out of the Smokies, and then I'm meeting some relatives, and I'll spend the night with them, and then the next target will be Hot Springs, so we'll get ready for Hot Springs. But that's pretty much it. Tomorrow, out of the Smokies. Hopefully the rain will hold off during the day today and tomorrow for me, and I can have a dry hike.
All right, everybody, just want to film a little bit in here. Kind of cool part of the trail. When you enter this, you can see right down there, you got just evergreen trees, and it just smells like evergreen through here, almost like you're at a Christmas tree farm. So that's kind of cool. I know you can't smell it on the TV, but trust me, it smells good. All right, everybody, look at that trail. That is just some pretty trail right there. One thing I was going to talk about is, our Boy Scout troop. We're based in South Carolina. We're Troop 2, Coastal Carolina Council. So shout out to the CCC, Coastal Carolina Council, Troop 2. The Deuce. Our Boy Scout troop, we started in 2011 from scratch. Basically, myself and a couple other leaders, we had some boys. Our boys had like a half a year left in Cub Scouts. We're getting ready to cross the Boy Scouts. So we're looking at troops. They're looking at troops to cross into. And, quite honestly, troops in our area weren't super active on high adventure stuff. They weren't doing a lot of hikes. They were camping, but they were doing a lot of car camping, a lot of heavy equipment, a lot of patrol troop gear, trailers filled with huge stoves and stuff like that. And our guys just weren't into that. We had started, as they got older in Cub Scouts, doing some hiking with them and teaching them how to, carry a backpack and cook over a fire and cook, with backpacking stoves and things like that. So we were moving more towards high speed, low drag, no snag, rather than having to haul a big trailer full of crap in it. We kind of focused on, you need to have everything you need on your back. And by doing so, you're able to hike into campsites and into places that you can't bring a trailer. Okay, I'm not, I don't want to knock the trailer troops and stuff like that, because there's a place for them. There's people that like doing that, and that's cool. And there's plenty of options in Boy Scouts to do that. But that just wasn't us, and that wasn't our boys. So we started a troop from scratch, and of course we had no money. So we couldn't buy all that equipment anyway. So we just focused on everybody needs their personal gear. They need a backpack. They need a small little mess kit. Things like that. And it just kind of grew from there. And one thing I noticed over the years, and the troop is, we've been featured in Boys Life magazine, the November, December 2014 issue. I think it was, we did a 50-mile hike for bladder cancer awareness. We're featured on the news. We've done 50-mile hikes, 50-mile canoe trips. We've hiked up and down the Grand Canyon. We've sent kids to Philmont, Sea Base, Northern Tier, National War of the Arrow Convention in Michigan State. We got kids that serve on summer camp 800 miles away on staff. We take our kids to summer camp 800 miles away every year for the last, it'll be 5 years this year, to Camp Nobi Bosco, Blairstown, New Jersey. Shout out to Camp Nobi Bosco, best Boy Scout camp in the country by far, bar none. But anyway, that's just what we've done, and what we've been able to do is we've been able to retain the boys in the troop. We've got a lot of 16, 17-year-olds in the troop, and we have younger ones. We have kids of all ages. I look around other troops, they got 40, 50 kids in their troop, and 80 to 90% of them are 11 and 12-year-olds. And what seems to happen is a couple years in the Boy Scouts, they quit when they get to be 13, 14, because they're not doing high adventure stuff. They're still doing, Cub Scout stuff, little basic camping. And when these kids turn 13, there's other interest. And if you're not keeping it fun for them and doing cool stuff for them, they leave the program. So our goal in our troop is, we want to keep the boys in the troop as long as possible to the age of 18 till they age out. And in order to do that, you got to do cool, fun stuff. You got to go hike the Grand Canyon. You got to go do 50-mile hikes. You got to do high adventure bases like Sea Base, Philmont. And that's how we've been able to keep our older kids. And unfortunately, I don't see that throughout Boy Scouts. I don't see a lot of that, and it's sad. Because Boy Scouts, their numbers are dwindling, and it's really BSA's fault because they don't market themselves appropriately. That's just my opinion. They've got, for those that aren't familiar with Boy Scouts, BSA has a place called the Summit Bechtel Reserve in West Virginia. That's where they have their jamborees now. They have high adventure stuff. They have zip lining, mountain climbing, whitewater rafting, you name it. It is the coolest place. And BSA has done a great job with that. The problem is, people outside of Boy Scouts don't know about it. If they promoted that thing and had, a marketing campaign to promote that high adventure they have there, they would attract more teenagers. They'd be able to keep their numbers up. They wouldn't have to try to come up with new programs to increase their membership. They've got stuff in their program right now that would attract people. The problem is the average citizen, the average teenager, doesn't know that Boy Scouts do that. They have a very narrow view of what Boy Scouts do. And it's a shame because, we do tons of cool stuff. When I talk to people at work or just out in the community and they hear about the things we do as a troop, I get the same response. Wow, if my troop would have done that when I was a kid, I would have stuck it out. Or I would have loved to have been in Boy Scouts when I was a kid if I knew they did that kind of stuff. So, to all the BSA leaders out there, it's incumbent upon you to raise your game, raise the level in your troop and the expectations in your troop. It's not your job to plan and tell the boys what they're going to do, but it is your job as a scoutmaster to set the vision for the troop. These kids don't know what's possible, what kind of cool things they could do. They don't know, they're kids. It's our job to present those things to them and say, look, we can do this. More times than not, I hear scout leaders say, when scouts come up to them and say, hey, can we go to the Grand Canyon? Oh, well, that's too expensive. You know, they give excuses why they can't do it instead of saying to the kids, well, sure. You know, what are some of the issues we're going to have to overcome? First of all, cost. How are we going to, how are we going to raise enough money to go? While I'm doing this AT hike, my troop, 30 individuals, I think 20, 21 kids and about 9 adults, are going to hike the Grand Canyon over spring break this year. This will be the second time our troop went to the Grand Canyon. And it will be, for each scout, free. If not free, it's going to be like nominal, like $100. Because a year and a half ago, we set the vision that we wanted to go back to the Grand Canyon, bring the whole troop. And we got 3 different levels of hiking we're doing. The older boys are going to do a 50-miler rim to rim to rim. And then the real young boys, the ones that don't want to hike, they'll be camping at the top of the rims and doing little day hikes in and out and exploring the canyon. And then the middle group will do a 3-day, 2-night in and out of the canyon, down the south rim and back up the south rim, camping 2 nights in the canyon. All right, we're sending the whole troop, and it's going to be almost free for all of them, because a year and a half ago we set that vision, and then we, as a group, scouts and scout leaders and adults and parents, figured out a way to make it affordable for every scout to go. So these are the kind of things, as a scoutmaster, as a troop committee chairperson, as a charter organization rep, that you need to be doing to raise the level for your scouts and your unit. Hopefully, other troop leaders can be inspired by some of the things we've done, and we'll implement some of those things in their units. Because in the end, your scouts are the ones that reap the benefits. That's my challenge to all scout troops out there. Let's raise your game. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we got a little bit of a view. It's clearing up a little bit. Still overcast, but you can see down there a lot better than it was. We're 3.9 miles from the shelter. It is 1:30, so we'll be there by 3:30. Get there early. Have a lot of time to do some planning for post Smokies. All right, everybody. Trail's starting to give up some fuse. Sun peeked out a few times, but there we go. Nice view. All right, folks, here we are at Cosby Knob Shelter. 12-person shelter, double-decker, just like all the rest. If you look out here, there's the hanging cables for your food right out front there. If you walk over here to this side, there's our water for the evening. Gotta filter me some water. As you can see, all the rain and stuff, that's pretty good flow coming out of there. I'll be able to fill up my 2 liters in less than a minute coming out of there. But so there's your water. So that's what we got for tonight, and this is the best part. Look at that. That is a pretty cool view. It says 3:30, so I made it here in basically 6 hours, 12.9 miles in 6 hours, and I stopped for about a 15-minute phone call, talked to the wife. So over 2 miles an hour, so feel good. We're gonna get all set up here and then get ready, because tomorrow we exit the Smokies. This is our last night in the Smokies, and so far as just view and everything like that, this has got to be the nicest one I've had in the Smokies. So if it doesn't rain and it's clear tomorrow, that'd be really nice. Really nice way to spend your last night in the Smokies.